Electram, which is good. There we go.
There's the bot. Nice.
Okay.
So hopefully that will be fixed.
Okay, so Lewd making his way out of the Electram fight just fine. Frayzlo right behind him. Lewd heading to Veil 2.
Man, feels bad, man. No one does Grotto first anymore.
Yeah, but actually, it'd be kind of interesting to see somebody do that one of these days. I believe somebody timed that a long time ago.
Yeah,
so
it's very slightly slower to do Grotto first. Also, most people find Veil 2 along with the Veil 2 skip to be the more difficult of the two. So you want to get that out of the way earlier in your runs because it's more difficult. So if you're gonna mess up, it's probably gonna be there, as opposed to the Grotto.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just this section right here with the damage boost, especially post patch with the tougher rock throwers, definitely makes it kind of scary.
Yeah, it is very easy to lose a extremely substantial amount of time here. Although, to be fair, in the Grotto, you also can lose a lot of time if you mess up a minecart section, but it's much less likely for the more experienced runners to make that kind of mistake.
Actually makes me wonder, like, if this game would have evolved differently, if somebody would have believed that Grotto was faster initially, like, I wonder if people would have done more aggressive strats in the Grotto from the get-go.
Probably.
Because I kind of feel like right now we're starting to see an evolution where people are starting to try more aggressive stuff out to save small time saves, like everywhere in Grotto, where I think for a long time people only cared about, Terrestrial Veil first.
Yeah, I think that's probably pretty true. Like, in the later splits, people usually go less and less aggressive because they're further on the run and most runs don't make it there.
All right, so Lewd making it
pretty real.
To Amethyst. He got through the Troll Cave skip very easily, as well as Veil 2. Frayzlo opted to take the bug shot there to get the damage boost initially, and then doesn't have much trouble himself with the Troll Cave skip. Again, so both the damage boosts getting that skips half the Veil, as well as the Troll Cave skip at the end, using the Rock Thrower as a damage boost. Both those were found by Frayzlo, so he's having the privilege of using his own strats in this run. Lewd, though, taking a lot of damage here. I'm actually a little scared for him.
Yeah, he could get like one bad, like, if he gets like enraged rocks or something, he just like won't be able to do damage. He's just gonna have to focus on evading them. Next one hit and he's dead. Oh, and here are the rocks. Wow, still able to get the damage though. Good on him.
Yeah, it was fairly fortunate having that fire clear up when it did. Frayzlo's sitting at half health as well. He's not out of the clear yet either. I mean, the thing is with Amethyst, like, most attacks as a runner, you're not going to get hit on. That was an unfortunate mistake. That was just a small timing mistake. He was trying to land on the platform to refresh his jump so he could make it to the next one. Because with the fast platforms, a lot of times, if you already see the platform and decide to commit to it, you're too late. You have to be anticipating it from the get-go. And so he was going to be a little bit late to reach the visible platform, and he was trying to get a last-second touch. Unfortunately, fell in the fire.
Yep, poor Lewd got flambéed there. Frayzlo was able to, Frayzlo able to clear Amethyst. And skipping the save saves a bunch of time not having to walk back through the Troll Cave.
Alright, so Frey in the grottos. Lewd trying to finish up this fight. Has 40 HP this time. He can take one, maybe two hits, depending on what he gets bopped by. We'll see if Frayzlo has adopted anything with Sloth in here, as we've been seeing from some runners. But if you just stick to Greed, it really is only about a second or two slower, so it's not a big deal.
Ooh, wow. Low on life again. And more platforms.
Stuff's making me nervous.
Yep, definitely.
Come on, Lewd, I'm rooting for you. You can get through this fight. Biased commentary. So Frayzlo not using Sloth here.
Yeah, just gonna greed it out. To be fair, Oh, poor Lude. Unlucky.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Frayzlo using the Wolfie strat, definitely
Yeah.
not Frayzlo's strat.
Definitely not Frayzlo strat, but the Wolfie strat, where you jump to basically spawn all the plants on screen and then use the save to clear them. Because when you save, it just kills all the enemies. So if it's your first visit to the save, so you can use that to cheese that room and make it much less difficult than it is normally.
So yeah, the thing is, Lude's getting pretty behind here.
Yeah.
Both runners, there's enough leeway in their PB times that they can make major mistakes and still recover that time and come back and put up a good run. It just gets obviously less likely every time you have a big death, especially like a boss death. Amethyst is a pretty long fight too, so taking a few deaths here is not going to help him out if he's wanting to catch up.
And Frey, I think he's trying to get water glitch.
Yeah, there's a physics glitch there that I don't think we've seen yet this tournament, where you can trick the game into thinking that you are underwater even though you're not. And then what that does is it lets you first off kind of have those wonky physics on this boss, but then because they let you jump so high at the end of the fight on Dark Annihilator, you can just simply run to the right and then jump out of the arena before the cutscene where the boss dies is even over. And it saves a pretty nice chunk of time. I think it's 7 to 8 seconds if you do it optimally. So unfortunately didn't get it. It's at least frame perfect, possibly pixel or even sub-pixel perfect, so it's not likely for people to get it.
It was cool that he went for it though, because it does save time if you get it like immediately.
Alright, so Lude is now at least in the grotto, got out of Amethyst, and I mean, like we said, he can definitely catch up still, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because like there's still a bunch of difficult bosses and platforming to go. If he plays extremely well, or if Frayzlo starts making mistakes, it could still be he's still very much in it.
It's not. It's kind of one of those things where as we've watched like a lot of runs of this game in race formats, usually when runners are about an area behind, like if they're on the boss of an area and then the other runner's like at the start of that area, that's a lead that's not unsurmountable. I've seen people come back from that pretty often. It's usually when you start getting like 2 bosses ahead, that's when it becomes like ridiculous. It's really hard to come back from that. So
that's when it starts getting into the realms of the statistically unlikely.
Yeah. See if Lude opts to do any mind tank strats here to save some time. Doesn't go for the first one. The first tank strat is pretty big in terms of time save. Frayzlo not choking on the scary jump at the end. And Lude does take that second mind tank, so that's pretty good. Saves about a second over not doing it. It's pretty nice. Maybe 2.
Now the question is, does he take the save? Yeah. Can't really afford any more major mistakes. Oh, and he's also going for water physics glitch.
I wonder if there was a gentleman's agreement to go for that for a few seconds before the race.
I think that there must have been.
Because I don't think, like, okay, I could see Frayzlo choosing to do that mid-run because he knows he's ahead.
He's ahead, yeah.
I don't think Lude would normally do that, though.
No. The thing is, I know for a fact that Lude had been practicing it a lot and actually getting it a pretty surprising amount of times, considering how difficult the glitch is. So I think that since both of them are pretty good at the glitch, relatively speaking, that they had agreed to maybe give it a few shots.
Frayzlo taking a death there at the very end of this auto-scroller. It's one of the more costly deaths in the grottos, for sure.
Yeah, it's like, what, 20, 30 seconds, depending on where?
Yeah. He went to jump in between the spikes, and unfortunately didn't get quite high enough.
Yeah. Just got his feet massaged by the spikes and cost himself a ton of time, unfortunately. Alright, this time he's able to get through without any problems.
Lude so far has not had fire drop on the boss. He still has full health. He is looking pretty good to get out of this. Frayzlo is starting Terravine. The thing about Terravine is it's almost a DPS race. You're just trying to beat this boss down, and you're going to trade your HP a lot to be in his face more. And depending on the runner, you'll see more or less aggressive strats be used. So we'll see how Frey decides to play this here. He already just took a few hits from the lasers.
Yeah, I was gonna say he must have had lasers first, like looking at his health.
And lasers early, and he also got the slow laser attacks, which are the worst ones.
Yeah, you want him to be
those,
faster.
The fast lasers, you can actually take 2 hits from them, and the second one, you'll be still invincible when they go off, so you won't take 2 hits from them. The slow ones, though, if you stand there, you'll take every single hit. So he took an extra hit from that, but a pretty good fight.
Yeah, that was actually really great. Able to use his health as a resource there to do more damage and finish the fight with really good time, actually.
Right, Lewd not choking to the scary jump either, so both of our runners at least getting through that part of the grottos in one try, unless I missed something.
No, both of them were able to clear it without difficulty.
So, Frayzlo now on the Underworld. This first save here, you want to just cruise to the finish and try to avoid enemies until the very end, and then use the save point to take them out. It's basically the safest and the fastest way to do that save. And there's been a lot of development lately in strats for the Underworld as well. I would say the grottos and the Underworld have been the 2 places where the most recent strats have been found. So I'm wondering if either of our runners will implement some of those. Frey not doing anything fancy with the tree there. A lot of people lately have been jumping over its head as it does the branch attack to just dodge the damage.
Yeah, while still remaining close enough so you just hit a bunch.
Nothing fancy on this portal. Pretty safe. I know Frey had told me before this match he was a little nervous about the portal. He had died on that a few times in practice. So he got through that first try. I'm sure he's happy about that. Important thing to note about the dash feathers here is actually if you're on fire, it becomes really difficult to use them, because if you happen to, press an input while V is being burned, then it won't register. And it actually eats the input, and it eats the use of the dash. So you have to time it very well if you're going to use the dash feather while on fire. So a lot of times you'll see runners, when they get on fire, they'll just wait it out, or they'll even take a save and reset before committing to a dash feather.
Yeah, if you're on fire, it becomes very difficult. The damage tick will interrupt whatever you're doing, and so if you're in the middle of a dash, forget about it. You're just dead.
Alright, so Lewd out of Terravine, making his way to Underworld. Again, just about one area apart here. I believe Lewd made up a little bit of time there, actually, because he didn't have that long auto-scroller death that Frey had. So, making up some ground.
Yeah, it still has a long way to go, though. But luckily, there's a lot of game left, and it only gets harder from here on out.
And I'm unsure if the frames I'm seeing on Lewd's screen are from the stream or from the game. And the way that he's acting makes me think it's from the game.
Yeah, that would be really unfortunate if he was to experience some sort of technical difficulty now. To add to, the difficulty for him.
This game is it's not a very easy game to run on a computer. That's for sure. The engine doesn't like to work with you a lot of times. So a lot of runners will spend a good amount of time trying to just get our game to run at a decent, level of performance. And sometimes things will happen. It looks like Lewd's unfortunately having an issue here that he wasn't expecting.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it's game related, just based on the difficulties finding with this section.
And I think if I was Lewd right now, I would probably just reset my game and then try to load it back up and see if that would clear it out. He's trying to play through it, but it seems really hard to do.
Yeah, okay, yeah, he's figuring it out. Wow, how unlucky. I think that this is actually the first time we've seen anyone experience like technical difficulties like that, which is pretty fortunate, to be honest. Sometimes that just randomly happens. Your game will be very framey.
Man, still struggling with that.
Yeah.
The reset didn't help. You know, Frayzlo picking up those keys, making his way through Underworld 2. Didn't look like he had any trouble with Craterack, and he is progressing through the run about as you would expect. We've just been really focused on what's going on Lewd's end.
Yeah.
Like,
So,
I know I've heard of Lewd talk about having performance issues in the past, but I think this is the first time it's happened to him in a race.
Yeah, very unfortunate that it happens to crop up now of all times. And Frey, coming up to AC skip, another skip that he found. So basically, he will use one of the convings, which is the flying enemy that just sort of rams you, to damage boost over the trigger for the boss. And so hopefully he's able to get it pretty quick here to demonstrate what I'm talking about.
So here comes this skip. He's gonna boost right over the box. Or the
Wow,
boss.
first try.
First try. That's another strat Frayzlo found. You
Yeah.
notice he came up with a lot of strats that involve damage boosting. So
And I don't know if he took that save, to be honest. I think that he skipped it,
right,
that first one.
Lewd has opted to forfeit out of the race. He's not feeling too happy, and he didn't feel like there was anything else he could do with his computer.
Yeah. Unfortunate circumstances, but you know, what can you do? Oh no.
Is it just me, or did Frayzlo just skip a cutscene? Frayzlo is showing off a new skip. I'm actually serious.
Yeah, definitely.
I have not
I
seen
may
that
or may
before.
not have had prior knowledge of this, but
That is a skip. Frayzlo has found a new skip.
yeah, we'll see how this changes things throughout. But if things work as they have been reported to work, then we're gonna see some very interesting stuff that may blow you away. But yeah, this is exactly what I was talking about, that X Factor, those unreleased skips.
And that's actually really surprising, man. The whole tournament, he's been saying that he has a new skip. And I thought he was bluffing the entire time. That might be 8, 9, 10 seconds that he just pulled out of nowhere, and I didn't know about. Nobody knew about it.
Well, he estimated the savings roughly at 10 seconds. So I was talking to him about this skip, and he had just found it. He had been trying to skip this for a while and just figured out how to do it. Literally yesterday. So, oh, and now we're getting some audio from Frey, so this is great. You can hear the great music of the library. Yeah, Shark and I were in the know before everyone else on this one. And so it's actually one of the reasons I signed up for commentaries, because I'm like, oh boy, I can't wait for him to do this skip. I have to be able to commentate it. So, you excited to save an extra 10 seconds free?
Yeah, I think so. It's jeez, man. I'm actually kind of dumbfounded about that. I'm also trying to work out right now. We're trying to decide what to do about the situation with Lewd. So sorry if I've kind of gone a little bit silent here. Frey setting up for that Mayogi 2 skip though. Looks like gets it. First try, easy.
Easy every time. Also, I like that he positioned himself in a way that made it doable. He had a bunch of health to spend, so he's just like, yeah, it's okay if I get hit by the fire wheel. Like, I just need to make sure that I get the skip. Oh. I think he tried to get lava skip, but he was too far into the center of the screen for it.
And that was really... I'm still just blown away by that skip, dude. I'm still blown away by that.
It gets better, probably. Maybe.
No.
I think it does.
No. There's more?
He told me it gets better. He told me
no.
Yes. I mean, I don't know if it'll work out the way that it could, but if it does, you're gonna freak out, dude. Everything looks normal, right? Right, Kate?
What? I missed it. How did he do that?
Alright, so it had been explained to me that when you skip that cutscene, the things don't spawn. So,
oh my god!
Because you skip the cutscene, you actually make the chambers much easier. And Oga skip! You don't have to do Oga skip! The one person who never learned how to do it, never has to do it ever.
We skipped the Oga skip.
Oga skip is dead. Official.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Is
but
there
Frey,
more?
the mad scientist, strikes again.
I wasn't paying attention on the elevator. Were the swirly black holes there for that, or were they gone?
They're gone throughout the chambers.
So an elevator, they were as well in the library.
I actually don't remember. I'm gonna be honest, but I know for the fact that in the chambers are done. I don't know. Maybe a shark could tell us. A shark. Okay, library still has black holes.
Library still has.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Yeah, separate areas.
Oh, that actually makes sense because of how Solgren separated the areas.
Yeah.
Because
that's what I thought.
In the Darkholm Watch, when you go to use the watch and you warp to the gate memory, it lets you do the bottom half of the like initial area, which leads to the maggot and maggot queen section, and then the password area. Whereas the chambers is a separate memory. And then library is separate from gate memory as well.
Yep, so no need for Frayzlo to ever learn Oga Skip. The one holdout for Oga Skip never has to do it. And we joked earlier that he discovered the skip just so he wouldn't have to learn Oga Skip.
That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's a pretty good skip for sure.
Especially because Oga Skip's not even that hard, so what's the deal, Frey?
I don't know what you want me to say for him. Probably like, who cares? Ancient strats, lol.
Ancient strats, dude.
Oga Skip in 2018, lol.
Yeah. I mean, it's still a pretty big time save. So, I mean, we're talking probably 10 seconds for that cutscene skip alone. Mm-hmm. And then probably at least a couple of seconds for being able to do fast movement.
Yeah.
And it's also easier, so it'll be less choky once you get it. Though the skip does look pretty precise, so I'm not sure if in general that's gonna speed things up for people, at least for a while.
I don't know. Frey had been telling me that it's free. The skip's free, but I actually don't know if that's true. He could just be you know, full of hot air, but I'll take his word for it that it's not the hardest thing to do. But yep, the skip master strikes once again.
So here we are, Path of Decay. Can't wait to see what new stuff Frey has for us here. What if he finds a way to skip a Bone Snake?
I have no idea how he would do that.
I don't either. But what if he did?
Then he's actually a god. I don't know what to say. There's nothing in this game that he probably won't find a way to skip at that point.
I almost wonder, like, yeah, no, I don't know. I got nothing. Frey's having a nice Path of Decay though. Good climb.
Yeah, he's playing extremely well. I can't really think of any major mistakes that he made off the top of my head besides the death in Grotto on the minecart section. I
honestly feel like Frayzlo is, for how little he really plays this game, he's really good.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that his PB is kind of reflective of that, because I honestly feel like that PB that he has is not a very good representation of how skilled he is in the game.
No, absolutely
to be
not.
honest.
I mean, it's just the fact that I feel like a long time ago he got like a sub 50 run, and he was happy with that, and then he just stopped playing. But then he would do races, or he would do a run for fun once in a while, and he would still PB, but he wouldn't really practice for it. But like whenever he runs, he still looks like he's pretty consistent. He looks like he's got it. I think if he wanted the grind for a good PB, he could easily get it. He joked about, I think like yesterday, about possibly grinding for a sub 40 soon, but we'll see.
Yeah, only time will tell. I think that is mostly because like he has the most fun just like racing and finding skips and stuff for everyone. That's just probably more interesting to him than grinding for a good PB. Which I understand. You know, some people are not about the grind life.
Alright, Frey not choosing to do the reset strat here with the Space Meatball. Just doing the normal stuff.
Dude, remember when we could get early Space Meatball and just completely skip pretty much all of Path of Decay?
Yeah, similar to how there's that bug in that we abuse for the Veil 2 skip, where you can carry variables from a different save file into your current one for a temporary time. You could actually before there was, I think actually that part of the glitch still works. You can load up another save file that has demon form active, and then you can just load up the current save that is on Path of Decay, and you'll have the orange fire, the demon form at full charge at the very beginning without having unlocked the form yet. And it used to be that you could just skip this entire area using that trick. And
you could fly over everything. But since then, instead of like patching out the glitch because it's too weird to fix, probably, it's just like, we could just extend the barriers up forever, so you can't just fly over them.
So Solgren, he decided to outsmart us on that one.
Yeah, I mean, why fix the problem when you can just, fix the problem in it with a simpler way, definitely.
So Frey was He was in a little bit of trouble there on the gauntlet. Was able to clutch it out though. On Azrael now.
Yeah, hopefully she behaves fairly well and isn't too mean. Also, like, what do you call her attacks? The like knives or arrows or?
Honestly, I don't know.
Because I feel like there's never been consensus about it, so... Like,
everyone just kind of calls them different things. I just call them by their color, I think, for the most part. There's red spikes and blue spikes.
Okay, so spikes.
Yeah, but...
'Cause I've always called them knives, and, I don't know, they don't really
shards.
look like knives, do they?
They don't really look like knives. They don't really look like spikes, either. They almost look more like fireballs or something. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know, I always thought knives because they kind of remind me of, like, ethereal knives in Path of Exile, but... I don't know.
Frozen saying that we have always called them shards. I don't know if
I
agree
don't think that's true. I think...
magic missiles.
I like magic missiles. I actually like that a lot, especially because some of them home. So yeah, I think magic missiles is actually... I don't know, that's probably the best thing we've come up with so far.
Actually, can we call them noodles? Because then we have meatballs and noodles on this
I
fight.
guess we can call them needles.
Or would those be the skeleton hands and the platforms? Those are definitely noodle-like.
I don't know. This is too complicated.
We've got to come up with some creative stuff here.
Yeah, I mean, I really like magic missiles. I think that is pretty good. Also,
Right.
good fight. Able
Good
to
fight. Frey clearing it up.
yeah, after the first attempt, kind of went a little pear-shaped. Azrael just very mean with the platforms, kind of forcing him into a corner, and then putting a portal in front of him, and then the one of the grabby hands just was like in the way.
Frey waiting for the majority of the ice block cycle before committing to it. Loses probably a few frames off of that. But it's not a big deal. That was kind of
it doesn't actually lose time really.
Because
I guess you have to do less platforming, so maybe that's like sleeper OP.
Yeah, if you timed it right, you wouldn't lose any time there. Usually we just end up hovering over top of the spawn position of the final platform, and so we can land on it right away, but I guess if you timed it right, it wouldn't matter. Using the Lust strat on J1, nothing too fancy here. Guess we'll see. We saw a Kale earlier today was using Pride for the spikes and Lust for everything else here. Frey just sticking with Lust, which is perfectly fine. Missing a spike, but no big deal.
He can pretty easily make that up with like 2 headshots probably. Well, there's one. And wow, the other spike just doesn't come back down. That is strange.
And the thing about this fight is like the yellow meter is gonna fill up.
Oh no.
Usually just the longer that you go on the fight. So you want to end it as quickly as you can. You can obviously have a long fight and just avoid ever touching the yellow skull or the yellow mist up above your head. And then it wouldn't matter at all. It's just faster to, hit all the spikes and stuff. But we might possibly see an enrage here if Frey gets into trouble anymore.
No, I don't
Looks
think
like he's
so.
fine.
Yeah.
It's because the thing with that fight is the boss actually dies at 10% health, or as soon as you, rather like 9%. As soon as you get past 10% on the meter, whereas all the other bosses, they don't die until 0. Alright, so here we are heading into the final boss.
Supreme Jaul, aka J2.
Do you think that Frey's gonna get the quick cycle? The quick enrage?
Yeah, I think so. I want to believe in my boy.
Might as well cheer for him at this point.
Yep. Seeing as there's no one else, to cheer for in opposition. Otherwise, I would. If Lewd was still racing, I would definitely cheer against Frey, but
I just always root for the underdog in that situation. I'd be like, oh, come on, Lude, catch up.
yeah.
But
Well, I just like to give Frey trouble because he bullies me pretty regularly, so, you know, gotta get back at him.
blame Frayzlo.
Blame Frayzlo.
Having a pretty solid fight so far. Unfortunately, gets J-Ol to turn around there, which means you missed some damage, but may still be able to get the quick kill here. See how his HP looks after this dive. I don't think so. I think he's got a little bit too much to chew through.
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna make it. So, what causes J2 to turn around like that? Like,
If you are on the left side for too long, or because the thing is, when J2 comes up from the bottom in the middle, he's gonna face you, whichever side you're on. So if your X position is still somewhat to the left of the arena when J2 pops up, he's gonna be facing to the left.
Right.
Even if you're crossing from left to right. So you have to cross more quickly if you want to avoid that from happening.
Okay.
Alright, so he's got the boss enraged. He's got to just play a little bit carefully here. Doesn't have a lot of HP to work with, so he can't do any fancy laser tanking. He could probably do one at the very end if he wants to be aggressive, but he doesn't have to.
I don't think he'll have the opportunity to.
And
Yeah.
there it is.
Good run by Frey. And a new
Absolutely.
skip. So even though unfortunate circumstances made it so that it wasn't, you know, a close race, we were still able to see something pretty crazy. And also, wow, personal best.
That was a PB for Frey. It was also a PB for him on SRL for his time there. It was an improvement by 5 minutes. So
Oh yeah, timer. Thanks, Jimmy.
hey, Frey,
Hey,
good game.
how do you like that library?
Well, we were pretty blown away by that, honestly.
It was pretty sweet, dude. I loved seeing the Oga skip
Yeah.
live. That was fantastic. So you never have to learn Oga skip, huh?
Yeah. Well, the skip is just over now. What happened with it?
Lude got to Underworld. He was actually not quite out of the race yet. I think you were like almost to Craterack and he reached Underworld. And his game started pausing like randomly, it would just pause and freeze like every couple seconds.
Oh, that's weird.
And
Yeah.
he wasn't unable to finish the first save of Underworld after a few tries, and then he tried quitting out of the game and rebooting it and still couldn't get it to run. And so after he tried a few other things, he decided to forfeit out, and so we're still not sure exactly what to do in that with that situation. But I mean, good race from you, obviously.
Yeah, I think
Personal
I
best.
got a really good time. I played really solid, but that's been
Yeah.
hard for him. I know he has a hard time like tying his PB.
Yeah. Consistency
It's not fun for
seems
him.
to elude him. But yeah, you played out of your mind. Actually, that was
Yeah.
a really good race from you.
So
Very few costly deaths. Just the one that comes to mind is the minecart section in the grotto.
I fell library skip first time too.
Yeah, that's not quite as much time, but
It's
still,
not,
yeah.
That's not too bad. So let's talk about the skip for a second.
All right.
So
What do you want to say?
This whole tournament, you've been kidding with us. I thought about, oh, I've got a skip. Oh, I'm going to use a skip and I'm going to reveal it and it's going to save all this time and I'm going to use it to win a race. And we're like, yeah, right, dude. And you pulled it out today. You actually pulled out a new skip.
I've
And
actually been trying this segment for a long time. So quick like that, just skipping the cutscene where you go talk to Amethyst, that's about 9-10 seconds. Right there. But then you don't have to reset for the password room black
It's like-
hole, and then you
yeah.
don't have the black hole for Oga skip. So it
Yeah.
adds up to a little bit more.
Yeah, it's probably around 12-13 seconds, I would say, overall.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a pretty accurate estimation.
And I'm gonna appreciate that because I only have 19 seconds to save for
Yeah.
getting that sub 36. So that's definitely a big boost. So
Another
thanks for
thing.
finding that skip.
when you do the skip, do not take the save.
Yeah,
have
you
to
cannot
skip
take the
that
save.
Because
The
then it
first save in the
triggers the
library.
fact that like the cutscene popped, and then you have to go talk to Amethyst and Ruby after you're done with Miyugi, and the
Okay.
black hole are still there. So you want to skip the save.
I was wondering about that because I saw you skip the save and I was like, I wonder why.
Yeah.
But I figured there was a reason.
Yeah, I didn't realize. It took me a while. The save right after the skip was in.
Yeah, so after you skip the cutscene.
The one you reset for the black hole usually
Yeah.
on the fire guy damage boost. So yeah, there's a new skip, everyone. Woo! And it's good.
Oh,
It needs some practice, Ziggy.
I thought you were telling me it was literally free, dude. What the hell?
It's pretty easy, but you need some practice.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's
I guess
the
you
kind of
can't just
thing you
YOLO
like.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely have to give that a look.
Yeah, it's not super hard.
Yeah, it's
Also,
not super easy though
it
because
skips
the
a-
cutscene just like kind of like knocks you down out of whatever you're doing. So you have to get far enough right and high enough to make it onto the platform.
Yeah, that was like some of the trouble is you gotta avoid from bonking too hard off the ceiling, and then you have to time
Yeah,
your
that's why I
flutter
flutter
really
at
well.
the end when I skip the cutscene, and then you fall right onto the platform.
That's pretty awesome. Anything else that you are working on right now?
We'll see.
Maybe we'll see at the end of next week
Yeah.
and those
Keeping that
races.
suspense alive. So I think we're just gonna probably name that the Oga Skip
The
Skip,
Oga
but I'm
Skip
not
Skip.
sure.
Yeah.
We might come up with a different name as we play with it more. It's kind of funny too because we were talking about throughout the run. We were trying to highlight a lot of the skips that you have found, and so now having an extra one, and this one's not even a damage boost, if you can believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Actually,
what we did.
Actually, a cutscene and even an entire like almost like a sequence break.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
At first, I wanted to do orcs first. You can get pixels away of reaching orcs and going down first. And I don't know what that would have changed. I don't think it would work, because then you want to go back and continue to run. I have no.
All right.
yeah.
Any other comments about your run?
I think I played well. Mistakes here and there, but like a 43-46 is a time I'm pretty happy for, especially in a race.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you played really well.
Yeah,
Well,
that was
so
fun.
good game to you, Frey. Nice job.
Thank you.
I guess we're gonna talk to Lude and you after this is up, and we'll try to see if we can come to some decision, maybe to give Lude an extra chance at working this out, and we'll try to come up with something that's fair. So we'll wait on talking with Frozen about that too.
Yeah,
But
that's unfortunate for him.
yeah, definitely. But everybody in chat, if you wouldn't mind, please follow our runners and our commentators, mostly Fosho because he's awesome.
I never stream, but yeah, if you want to, drop my channel a follow because why not? Then yeah, feel free. I guess can't stop you.
And
Thank you.
that's that for today. And so unless we come to some kind of decision on the Lude situation, that might be it for us for Wings of E for this week. We do have week 5 starting up tomorrow, and I'm sure there'll be a lot of good races still
So
to happen.
Frozen gave me a point, so everyone can see their week 5 opponent right now. But I'm not sure how final that is.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's final yet.
Well, I
So,
guess we'll
but
find
if-
out in the coming hours and minutes here.
If it was final, I would definitely go through each matchup and talk about them right now. But it's possibly not going to be how it works out, I'm gonna hold off on that, and I'll let you guys speculate if you would like.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's it for us for now. So stay tuned for more V in the next week, and then the bracket phase will start up after that. And of course, once again, shout out to Speed Gaming. Thank you to you guys for helping us put this on and for all you do. And if you guys like speedruns and races in general, be sure to follow all 5 of their Twitch channels because they always have stuff going on.
Yep, and that should be it from us. Take care, everybody.
Have a good one.